It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's the last hurrah before the big day.
Welcome back to Drunken Suits. I'm Will Kroboth. I'm here with
Bobby Carlson.
today, episode 19. We are going to be switching it up a little bit. We got a fun one here for you. And basically, we're going to be talking about when did this Las Vegas crazy party bender become the norm of a bachelor party? Bobby, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's crazy now to think. I mean, the average person on a bachelor party in the U.S. is spending about $1,500 to attend a U.S. bachelor party. It's gone from like not so crazy. We'll break down the history today, but getting into some of the craziest things, it blows my mind what bachelor parties have become. And it's great for us because Drunken Suits was born, but it's crazy.
Absolutely. And I love the concept. It's a great time. The whole evolution of it all, it really brings it all together. Like what's more fun than just having one last trip with your boys, a weekend to do these kind of things. Life gets hard. You get old and these type of things don't get to happen as often. So it's really a fun experience, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, just the pure we've made this joke before, I know, but the whole reason it was started was because two of our guys in our group got engaged. And I think we've made the joke a lot, but they may have gotten engaged just for the bachelor party. Don't tell their wives that, but they may have gotten engaged for the bachelor party.
I think so. I mean, it's a good possibility there, man. But yeah, like I guess let's kind of just jump right into this, right? Let's take a look back through history and see, the very beginnings of this can kind of be traced back all the way to the Spartans. So pretty sweet right there, right? Bachelor parties were origins
Yeah.
of Spartan doings. That's pretty cool.
I mean, Sparta, just for reference of anybody in their head, like how long ago this was, that's 5th century BC.
That's a long time for
That's a
people that don't
long
know.
time. Yeah. I mean, not dinosaurs, but close.
Yeah. And granted, their idea of a bachelor party was more of just like a toast, a dinner before the guy gets married. But still, I think it's a pretty unique, cool thing that they adopted. One last hurrah, one last nod to the groom. Super cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Now, obviously they don't use the word bachelor party. Then they don't. None of that comes about. You don't even hear the word bachelor itself really even used until about that Renaissance period in Europe. Um, this didn't even have anything to do with these formal parties that we're talking about, but it is more the idea of a bachelor, right, being a single man. Um, that's when that comes about. And then once you start to get into like that 19th century kind of Victorian era is when you start to see like stag nights, bachelor nights, not necessarily parties yet, just kind of um, guy only parties, really celebrating just that camaraderie among men.
Which is wild, too, to think, like, just the dudes. Like, who cares about the woman? Like, I know it's in our heads now, like, equal and everything. I totally understand, but it's just crazy. They're like, it doesn't matter. This is all for the dudes.
It is, and we will get there. Don't worry. We will touch
Yeah.
on the Bachelorette side, but it is pretty crazy, right? We're talking, that doesn't come about till way later. So far
Yeah.
up to this point, it's all just the guys. It is pretty wild to your point, yeah. Um, I mean, I think even here I had a little anecdote from 1896. the Steely Dinner. It was
Steely dinner.
yeah, it was in New York,
Okay.
and it was kind of famous because this party was raided by police because there was rumors about a new dancer. Now, obviously in that
Ooh.
time, we have a lot of different perceptions of things at this point in time, but in 1896, that was a real big deal. So, um, the debauchery begins, so to speak.
Thank you, Steely Dinner, for introducing strippers. Well, I think you brought up the Victorian like bachelor dinners and stuff too. I heard in my research, not heard, like just looked it up, but that's when cigars started making it big for bachelor parties.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like the post dinner feast was a cigar, and they would put on their robes or whatever, and cigars.
I think that I don't think I touched on this, but I think also this is where that around that time period is when that the day before, or not day before, but just kind of the groom's dinner. The father like hosts that dinner, gives a toast to the bride and the groom. It was this kind of real formal event. So that's cool. I
Hmm.
didn't know about the cigar thing too, but Big Cigar really benefiting from that one.
Yeah, yeah, big time, big cigar.
Yeah, but I mean, so that kind of brings us to the 1900s. Then um, you really start to see that the phrase bachelor party pop up in the 1920s. Um, it's still, a very formal kind of event, generally pretty tame even at this point. That anecdote I just expressed was definitely not the norm.
Hmm.
Just kind of a bonding experience among men, as like a one last time being single before you're married. Um, and then time goes on, we kind of continue these parties, maybe introduce a little, more elements. They start to get, a little crazier. Um, but I think it was right in around the 1960s, the 1970s, as the bachelor party, these parties are getting crazier and crazier. This is where you kind of see the beginning and where the bachelorette party concept is introduced. Um, the women,
Hmm.
I think they started them off by calling them hen parties. It was like stag parties, hen parties. Um,
Was that here
and
though?
they
Did they call that?
No, well, it started in the United Kingdom. So over in England, they call them
Okay,
hen parties.
that's
They're the
what I.
ones
That's
who
what I
really
thought.
brought it
Okay.
about. Yep. No, that's a good point. I mean, uh, I think we're going to touch on it too. There's a lot of the same thing has a bunch of
Hmm.
different names depending where you are in the world. We're in the United States, so we're typically calling them bachelor, bachelorettes. But you go other countries, they have a lot of other names. Um,
Yeah, I think if you said stag party though, or like we've done segments of like stag stories, and I don't think like that's like goes over somebody's head, but it's definitely the common as bachelor.
For sure.
Yeah,
Well, for us in the United
for
States,
us,
I
for
think
us, yeah,
stag, in Australia might be. I think that was the big name there. Shout out all our Australia viewers.
yeah. Shout them out. I think Australia. Yeah, okay. I didn't have a different name for Australia, but I got a whole sheet here for around the world when we get to that.
Okay, I'm excited. I had a few, but I knew you had some. Um,
Word.
yeah, so I mean, we're talking 60s, 70s. We have this kind of cultural revolution. Um, you see the bachelorette parties pop up. Bachelor parties are getting crazier and crazier. Um,
But at this time too, when we say crazier and crazier, not like today, right? Like so, it's a lot of that one night going crazy for one night kind of thing. I think that's like you say like crazier and crazier, but like I don't know, we're at like the peak craziness for bachelor parties. So people in their heads might be thinking like the viewer out there might be thinking like, oh, were they going these weekend trips then and doing stuff? It's like no, like not yet. They went crazy and did stuff, but it was more just one night, maybe like a weekend, two day kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that's a really good caveat. What I meant by saying crazier is kind of just a little more bold in the activities that they're doing instead of just, guys hanging out. Maybe they're incorporating an event. Maybe they're doing something a little more, you know, scandalous or something, you know, a little more
Hmm.
bold. That's really all I'm trying to say. Nothing too crazy. Once we get into like the 1980s, this is the time where pop culture really kind of embraces the bachelor party, bachelorette party. You know, you have movies, um, you have these comedies about them. You have, you
Well,
know,
do
these
you want to
bachelor.
talk about the birthplace of the comedy movie?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
So I mean, there's a movie called Bachelor Party, and Tom Hanks was a star of it. That was really, and it was 1984. That's really like the first bachelor comedy, bachelor party gone wrong kind of movie. And then you have all these other ones that through the years are somewhat replicates or different things. But that's the birthplace of it, and it kind of glamorized that bachelor party scene.
Yeah, and I think the incorporation with all this pop culture is kind of what made bachelor parties almost gravitate towards these, you know, more wild events. You know, the crazy drinking, maybe there's drugs involved, right? There's strip clubs, gambling. I think this is around the time where everybody's like, oh, these two things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah. It's the devil starts playing into the bachelor parties.
A little bit, a little, and I think that's not even just the guys too. I think the girls, you know, they embrace kind of the drinking games a little more. These, you know, more stripper style things. Um, Again,
Yeah,
it continues to evolve as time goes on, but this is really kind of think the movie The Hangover. I think that this is like the grounds where all of this was starting to be laid was around the 1980s.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. The Hangover was 2000s, though, no?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying
Oh,
the
you're saying no?
ideas.
It's like, yeah, gotcha, like gotcha. Yeah, the concept of that crazy night got it was like in the 80s.
Right, right.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you know these ideas keep growing. More and more people get on board. Kind of brings you more a little bit to these modern times, right? We have gone from you know this one day, one meal thing back in the early stages, um, to now weekend long trips, extended weekends where you know you're going a lot of times air travel needed to go to a destination to make these plans. You mentioned it before. Now you have you know hundreds, you know, thousands of dollars being spent just for one party. um, I think I saw a stat. It was, you know, by 2020. I don't have the origination date, so that's my bad. Um, it was a change from previously 42% of men noting that their parties were a single night to now only about 23% saying it was a single night, meaning everybody else of that cohort was a multi-day event. So, you know, pretty
Wow,
big change in the identity, in the thought of what that is.
that's a big swing. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have the date that they're comparing it to, but I think it was somewhere in the earlier 2000s. Still pretty
Yeah,
crazy, right?
yeah, absolutely crazy. Maybe Drunken Suits needs to take their own census. That'd be cool. Bachelor party census is. Well, you're talking about how extreme they can get now. I did a research of what was voted as like the most extreme bachelor party ever and like ever recorded. Hard to find, like a lot of people aren't just putting out how much they spend there, how much they dropped on strippers. So like, it I'm sure, there's, celebrities and all these people that have done some crazy stuff and did stuff. I did see this one that in 2024, this was recorded as a black bachelor party trip. It was recorded as the most extreme bachelor party. So I was like, okay, let's look at it. It was a trip to the North Pole.
That's incredible. What? How did they even
So
get there?
well, let me tell you. So it's $32,000 for the this whole trip. That includes flights, helicopter rides, a polar guide, skiing, camping near the pole, exotic meals like seal, reindeer, and whale meat, and then you also get like jackets and whatever you need too. But yeah, 32K for that.
That's definitely out of the norm. I don't think that is a normal price to be paying. But holy crap, that is
Extreme
crazy.
bachelor party.
I don't even know like what makes you want to go to the North Pole. Like it's just cold, man. I don't
That's just cool. But I mean,
just to say you've been
also
there,
like
I guess,
for
right?
the bachelor party, yeah, like all right, like you have that money to do that. It's like that's a trip you might want to bring your wife on. But
That's cool though.
I mean, that kind of segues me to um, there is bachelor parties around the world, and different cultures and different areas have different norms for them now. I mean, we talked about Sparta, we talked about the Renaissance, like how much it's just grown and now is an accepted thing around the world, which is so cool. So I kind of have made a list. Are you cool with me just kind of reading off some of this list?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So we got bachelor party, and if I miss anything anywhere, because I know you took some notes on it too, like just chime in. But bachelor parties, traditions around the world. Here we go. U.S. and Canada. It's the weekend trips, nightlife, bars, and experience. Kind of what we're doing. We're breaking them down, getting the understanding of them now. UK, it's the stag dose, is the men and hen parties. So they have big themes and costumes to theirs, and they also pull minor pranks on the brides and grooms to be, but minor pranks, nothing like too crazy. A lot of their travel goes to Ibiza, Barcelona, and Prague, Prague, whatever.
Or if you're from there, I think they don't pronounce the Z. It's like Ibiza.
Ibiza, Barcelona, right? Yeah, but I'm not from there, so Ireland. It's very similar to the UK, but it's more an emphasis on pub crawls in small towns instead of like clubbing at night. They just do the same kind of like themes and costumes, but then they just do like little small bar crawls. It's also very common that they get a mystery bus, and the mystery buses, no one knows where they're gonna end up, like different bars, and until they get dropped off.
That's cool. Wait, so who does the best man organize that? And he know, or is this just like a company? I'd be interested to dig more into that.
Yeah, I need to dig more into it. I don't know it, but sounds pretty common, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually really
Um,
like that. Sorry, I wanted to highlight that.
no,
I think that'd be a lot of
no, it's
fun.
like right off like our first clip with Dan and with Mike. It was like he didn't know where we were going, blindfolded through the airport, everything until welcome to Miami. So I mean, very similar vibe there, and that's cool. I think that's a cool twist to a bachelor party.
For sure.
So I got some other ones then. Germany. Germany is one of the most unique I found for like cultures and places. It's called the Polterer Bend,
Okay.
uh, and that means like night before wedding. They smash porcelain as a good luck thing. And they said it gets messier than Vegas just because of the porcelain pieces. But that's like right before the wedding. Um, they also have forced pranks in Germany. Um, so like a couple examples was like you dress up in like a weird costume and have to go sell like trinkets or drinks on the street to people. And I was like, this sounds like fantasy football punishments out here. Like, but also like, who's that fun for? Like, what?
Yeah, definitely not the person who has to do it.
Yeah, right. Like, it's a reason not to like throw the bachelor party. um, France, they dress the groom and bride up and have to do challenges out in public, which I thought was pretty cool. That's kind of like a different, and also then like they usually uh, filled it with like good food and good drinks after, good wines. But the challenges, like that could be like a fun little twist. Like dress them up in costumes. They have to take pictures in the park, like whatever, like do some stuff. Um, Nordic countries,
Wait, that was
they
France you
are
just said, right?
yeah, French.
Yeah. So just one other point there. I think the name that they call it, um, translating into English, is like burying the life of the boy. I thought that was really kind of cool.
That sounds terrible.
No, 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 that's cool. That's very symbolic of what the bachelor party is. It's not the fun, crazy party side of it, but that's really kind of what a bachelor party is. Transition from single childhood life into being married and kind of like adulthood.
Yeah, but it sounds like scary.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's a little dark, burying the life. Uh,
Yeah, of a boy.
it's a metaphor.
No, I totally get it. I mean, Death of a Bachelor, great song out there, but like I get it, totally get it, but I buried the life of a boy today. Like what? So excited to bury the life of this boy. Let's go. Like what?
Hey, dude, the French, they like it.
I guess so. You don't see the romance in that? But I got some a couple other ones here. Nordic countries, they're known for public pranks also. Um, and then they also are known for and they do full mysteries to bride and grooms for parties then too. So they don't know what day they're going on these pranks, and they don't know what days. They do like day long things too. So they'll set up sports challenges. It's like a typical day would be like sports in the morning, challenges, and then they have dinner and drinking through the night.
That's kind of fun. And
Look,
then the bachelor doesn't know, or
Bachelor
the
doesn't know it's
groom.
coming. Yeah, pretty cool. Australia, New Zealand, you touched on it a little bit. They do extreme pranks, like full on hazing, getting tied up to poles naked, like crazy pranks. They're known for it. They also fill the days with barbecuing, sports, and heavy drinking. And the heavy is underlined there. Heavy drinking. So really love that. I love Australia. I think that's like my number one place I want to visit outside
The
of America.
Australians are
So
different, man.
yeah, I would
They're
love to go on an
different.
Australian bachelor party. Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, yeah. And sorry, I misspoke earlier. I had them. They called them bucks parties. That's what I had written for them,
Bucks. Yep,
not
I did
stag.
see
Yeah.
that. Bucks. Which makes sense, like stag and bucks, and I get it. Yeah. South
You
Africa.
can't be perfect all the time.
I mean, I am, but I get it. No, no. In our edits, if you count the times that we have to correct what I say to what you say, it's like 500 to one. um,
Ah, God
yeah,
bless
that's always
editing
fun.
software, right?
South Africa, pretty non like crazy, but it's just barbecue, clubbing, and adventure. Um, it's crazy. Like barbecuing is so common. I've seen that on a couple Australia, Nordic, South Africa, big barbecuing. So it's like cool, like very cool. Throw it on the bobby.
I'm always down for that. That sounds great.
Yeah. So I got two more: the Middle East and South Asia. Um, this is kind of a bad one. They don't go public with their bachelor parties. They might have people come over in their house and do a dinner and stuff. That's to like cultural norms. They can't necessarily like party. And if you're in the urban areas like Dubai and areas like that, they more will set up like a luxury trip where they go to like a luxury hotel, wellness kind of stuff like that. But it's a little different aspect there. And then this one to end it, Latin America. Uh, these are the absolutely wild, big party culture, music, dancing, and food. I feel like this is their lifestyle already, so I can't imagine the just chaos that would go on for a bachelor party and pure excitement.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see as you're saying all these different things how it really aligns with the culture, the underlying just ways that the people interact in their day-to-days, and they're just taking it, and it seems like going to the extreme to have a great time with what they're working with. That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. Very cool. Yeah, it's cool to see I don't know, just the history going from like dinners, just celebrating the men, toast, getting into little cigars only the night before, to now it's a global thing of celebrating the send off. Like I love it. I love it, man, and that's what we're here for. That's what we're dissecting.
It is. It is. And to your point, right? Like I think even cross cultures is kind of becoming a thing more so recently. It's not unheard of to float the idea of going to even a different country to celebrate a bachelor party nowadays. So, there's
Yeah,
still a next progression that can come with this. More and more travel. That could be the next step. Who knows? Who knows?
yeah. I mean, we're dissecting American cities, talking about some crazy things. Got to think people from other countries would be going to these places. And I know a lot of people will travel to Ibiza or anything like that. So it definitely, we're dissecting America. Who knows? We might go worldwide eventually, but right now it's America because there's a lot to offer here.
There is. There absolutely is. And and not just bachelor parties, right? Like bachelorettes are arguably, just not arguably they are as big, but arguably sometimes even more of a crazy go wild party these days, right? They're
Yeah,
a huge event too. So that almost like doubles the cohort, of people that are interested in doing these kind of things. So, um, that's pretty interesting fact of the matter there.
absolutely. I mean, it's so cool. I would say, talking about this evolution of it, it's such a new trend to, I guess, like what's really the breakdown from a couple of years now to here. The new trend for us too is so much of like doing these experiences. Like we are saying, like you travel, you go different places. You travel, concerts, tours, adventures, like wellness programs, like bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. They all have their different things, and it's this whole new trend. New trend also, co-ed.
Yep.
Pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, we touched on this a little bit, debating, our thoughts on it, but um, it seems like that could be the next evolution, the next, pairing of this party tradition, right? Like, people are getting married later, have more money to spend, can really go out and do a crazy trip, and they want to do it with a bunch of friends. It kind of makes sense from that standpoint. Like, I can see that being an attractive option. Um,
I
it's
mean, I made it pretty clear where I stand on it. I'm pretty against it, and I understand. Um, but it'd be really cool to hear from somebody that is going to be doing that, and I think we should send it over to them.
Yeah, catch you over there, guys. All right, a big welcome here to Mike, good friend of the pod here. Congratulations, just got engaged, so that's awesome. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
yeah,
Yes, big
uh,
congratulations.
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it was a fun time. It was a lot of stress, but happy it's done now, and now we get to plan some of the fun stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so speaking of planning some of that fun stuff, that's what we're gonna have you on here to talk about today. Is your bachelor party, or I guess, what are you guys even calling it? Do you have a name for it yet?
As of now, we're just kind of calling it a joint bachelorette trip. I don't know if you guys got any ideas on names we can do. We're open to it.
Batch bash, whatever. Just shorten it. Take out the and a Lorette.
Or yeah, I like that. Okay, we got somewhere to start.
Yeah, I mean that was just off the tip. That's just
Yeah,
a suggestion, throwing it out.
there we go.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to be talking about doing this, co-ed party. We discussed it a little bit so far on the podcast, but when you found out you were considering doing it, we thought, it's a great opportunity to come talk about it. Yeah. So first things first, like, whose idea was this? Who brought it up to who that we wanted maybe try to do a joint party?
I'll be honest, I think it was kind of mixed opinions, mixed idea a little bit. Lauren had sent TikToks before of joint parties and stuff, and then other ideas for, solo parties, solo bachelor, bachelorette parties and stuff. And we talked about it. Our friend group is a lot of the same people. Most of our friends are, our college friends who that's where we met. So it kind of just worked out that we said, if we're going to have all of our friends together, why do it separately? Why not just kind of, come together a little bit and have some time together?
Do you know how many people it's going to be together
Still
or
in the
around?
planning stages of that. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
we're looking somewhere around probably like 20 to 25 people total.
Big group.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Nice.
have a lot of friends, a lot of people that we want to enjoy the time with and stuff. So we're gonna send out the invitations. Whoever can make it, obviously, great. Whoever can't, we'll get together at some other point. But yeah, we're hoping to have a nice group going together.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. Now I know you and I have talked about it a little bit, but I guess if just talk about some of the places you're thinking about maybe doing this, and then what goes into all of that decision with it being such a large group and kind of two separate entities coming together.
Yeah. So, I mean, me speaking for me personally, I didn't really care about where it was, and I know I said it to you, Will. I kind of had two requirements, two things I wanted to do. I wanted to go golfing, and I wanted to go to a casino. So I didn't care if that was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, or halfway across the world. Those were my two things. So for me, I was very flexible. Lauren, my fiance, she had a little more where things she was looking for were kind of crystal clear waters, a beach that she can go to, a little more partying vibes and stuff like that. And so it kind of worked out. She had kind of set her sights on Florida, kind of checks off all her boxes, and I wasn't sure. I know, gambling is a little hit or miss down there depending on where you are and stuff, but was able to find a spot down there that I think will work for us. So it kind of just worked out best of both worlds for both of us.
That's great. And just for anybody listening, you're in Pennsylvania right now, you and Lauren,
Yeah.
and most of
Lauren's
your
actually still in New York.
oh, New York, okay. And most of your friends then is that oh, so like the people coming first off, you said some college friends, but uh, like is any of her family, any of your family, cousins, any like that mix or like what kind of mix is this whole group?
Yeah, so mostly college friends, let's just say 25 total or so, I think is kind of working number we're working with. Probably 20 of them are college friends. And then, my brother and her brother coming on mine. Her cousin's going on hers, her brother's girlfriend. So, a few odds and ends, few extra people then. But honestly, they've kind of all met our college friends already and stuff. So
Mhm.
there's at least some knowledge of them.
No, that's good. And primarily then all up in that PA in New York and then all sending it down to Florida.
Yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
most people, yeah, PA, New York, New Jersey, kind of that area where we all ended up. Few other people from other places, but yeah, so gonna look like a lot of flights. We've been looking at flights already, trying to nail some stuff down early.
nice.
Yeah,
Good thinking. Good thinking.
Yeah,
that's one of our biggest tips is start planning early. The earlier, the better.
yeah,
Um, that always helps. But now you were mentioning kind of, few from some like the guys going on yours, some of the girls going with hers. Are you guys planning on doing some separate events while you're here, or is it going to be entirely together? Or is there going to be separate, little branch offs?
yeah. So actually, we're going to be mostly separate. So I think we're really just kind of planning on coming together for one night of going out to the bars. Wherever we end up, we'll find places around where we can go out together. For the most part, I think we want to I'll say do a little more traditional, do a little more of the separate activities, but then come together for one night.
Now
Yeah, that's cool.
now that's real nice and stuff. I don't know why this just crossed my head now, but is there any thought of like friends hooking up now and then it's going to be awkward at the wedding? Like, is that like a concern at all?
So I'll be honest, a lot of people are in relationships in our friend group
Okay.
already, and that's kind of part of it too. Like, come together, and then some couples can be together on that night and stuff too. Hey, there's always a chance. We're not going to stop anything from happening, but I think for the most part, our friend group, whatever I'll say, whoever's done stuff has done stuff already, and so we'll take it from here. If anything happens, they're all our friends. We think it'll be fine on the wedding day.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
Oh man! All right, switching gears a little bit. So
Yeah, switch it up. Switch it up. Get my mind out of the gutter.
hey, these are the questions we need coming from the pod. So.
Yeah, like gotta keep all your bases in check.
Exactly. Hey,
Well,
we gotta
wait.
get this guy
Well,
on
let's
marketing or something.
let's not get out of the gutter real quick then, because
Okay.
history. We in this episode we're talking a lot about the history of bachelor parties and kind of the evolution of them, and we talked a little bit before you came on here about the films, kind of like glorifying bachelor parties, and a very big stereotype right now for bachelor parties, especially like bachelor instead of bachelorette, but bachelorette's getting into there is like strip clubs. And I think on a co-ed one, that might get a little touchy, a little kind of a gray, weird area. And I just kind of wanted to hear your viewpoint on it. Is that something that's talked about prior? Is that a reason to go co-ed? Like, just putting it in your court there, Mike.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it's obviously something, and every kid growing up hears about it and stuff and whatnot. For me personally, not really my scene, I would say. I'm not. My two things were golf and casino. I'm not the biggest partier guy, so for me, it's not really my scene. It didn't really go into the decision of the co-ed or anything. Just not really something I was focused on, not something that I was worried about going into it.
Oh, so Lauren was the one talking about it. No.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. We've talked about it, whatever. It's not a big thing, and not something that is not like I know some guys. Oh, you got to check it off the bucket list one time. For me, if I never go, and at this point, getting married, hopefully I never go. So it's not something that I need to do.
All right, good answer. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit more on the logistics side of things, with coming back to that planning. Do you think that doing this all as like a 20 to 25 group range, is that you think it's going to be maybe easier? So let me phrase it like this: it'll probably be more difficult logistically, but at the end of the day, do you think like from a budget standpoint, might be actually advantageous?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And part of the planning and stuff, we've looked at some Airbnbs. I kind of want to, we haven't sent out any text to like get, it on people's calendars. I found an Airbnb kind of around an area that I really like and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely more feasible, whatever. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I think I'm looking at inviting, 10 to 12 people, and then Lauren, 10 to 15 or something like that. So for both of us, just being able to, divide up an Airbnb cost and stuff, it definitely becomes a lot easier with more people if you find the right place.
Now, just from our prior interviews and hearing, like, talking about planning, now, do you have a best man picked out yet? And are they giving any, and like a best chick, best man and best chick? Are they
maid of honor?
Yeah, no, but I think that's exactly what I just said. So the best chick and best man, are they helping at all? Is that declared yet? Like, are they throwing in any surprises or anything?
Yeah. So definitely gonna have them involved. I again kind of doing little unorthodox, I'll say, thinking I'm probably going to have two best men. And Lauren's looking at a few maids of honor and stuff as well. You know, a lot of close people we have. We're going to have whatever unorthodox number of bridesmaids and groomsmen and stuff. But yeah, definitely, I kind of wanted to lay the foundation and, you know, give some parameters and stuff and whatnot. And then want to also leave some up to, you know, best men and letting them kind of, you know, dictate some of the stuff and kind of surprise me a little. Cause, you know, I know part of also, you know, growing up hearing about bachelor parties, there's definitely an element of like, you know, you're not supposed to plan everything to it. So yeah, definitely planning on, you know, letting go of the reins at some point once I got the foundation laid.
Very nice. Very nice. I think that's very smart, not overplanning, yeah, and not trying to control it all and let somebody let yourself be surprised. That's good. That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, have a little fun, let your hair down a little bit for sure.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
you mentioned something, and it sparked something because of what we talked about earlier in this episode. Um, you know, kind of breaking the mold, doing something a little bit different. We're talking about the evolution of the bachelor party, how it's changed over time, and kind of mentioning that like this joint party might be almost the evolution next of these bachelorette parties. I'm just curious to get what your thoughts are on that, or if you maybe see it, you know, any different way.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. You know, it's definitely not for everyone, you know, depending on your group dynamics, even your personal relationship dynamics and stuff. Everyone's going to be different, but I definitely think, again, moving away from some of that old school bachelor party, you know, go out every night to the strip club and, you know, do all this stuff. And I feel like there is a little bit of a movement away from that. And I think a joint party is kind of a next evolution or an option, at least for people, you know, looking to do something a little bit different. If you have a close friend group like we do, or frankly, you just want to spend some time with your fiance. You know, that was another big part of it is, you know, me and Lauren, we love to travel together. We love to go on trips and stuff. We're both planning to go on a trip. Why not, you know, do a little bit of it together?
So I'm not one to talk behind anybody's back. So I want to throw this out there. My headset is different on the co-eds. I think I'm a little bit against it because in my head, like what you just said, like want to spend a lot of vacation time together and all that. In my head, it's like you got the rest of your life to do that, right? Like, this is the last chance, just the boys, just the crazy, like whatever. But I get what you're saying though. Like it, logistics, having like all your friend group all the same, like it does make a lot of sense. Um, I don't know, but in just the sense of just the part that you said, like you like traveling with her, it's like you got the rest of your life, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, and that's totally fair, and that's definitely kind of like the, I'll say, the counter argument to it or whatever to you know what I said, 100%, not, and I get that completely. And you know, I think that's kind of, we struck a nice balance for it. You know, where we're doing one night together, get one night down in, you know, we're looking at Florida, do one night down in Florida together, and then kind of be apart for the rest of it and stuff. You know, I definitely see where you're coming from on that because there is that element to it, but you know, everyone's different. I think, you know, at least
yeah,
for us, this made a lot of sense for us, you know?
yeah. It works for you, and that's what matters more than anything. Who am I to say anything? This works for you guys. That's great, and I think it's also such a good idea. Like you don't have to like compromise on the events you're doing because you're taking your group and going. She's taking hers, and you don't really have to like worry or do anything. And
Yeah.
then you can still come back and enjoy like dinners, nights, whatever it is. And I think that's a really nice way of doing it for the co-ed. Like in my head, when I think of co-ed too, it was in my head, like going into this was like, you know, you want golf and casino and she wants the beach and, you know, something else where it's like, okay, like we can't go golfing, we're going to go beach, but then we're going to go casino. Like you do
Yeah.
that pull and take, you know, so, but that's really nice. You still get to enjoy exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I said I'm not a big partier. Would still like to go out, you know, one or
Yeah.
two nights or something, and you know, have some drinks, get you know, a little fun, little out there and stuff. So you know, definitely want to do that, and that's just, it kind of worked out to a great middle ground where we could kind of meet in the middle on that, and you know, it worked out for us.
Get a little versatile and agile, you know.
You know, most versatile over here. Come on.
Mr. Versatile.
There's a
That's
few
great though,
that'll get
man.
that little Easter egg.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Man, that's great. So how you said you're still pretty early in the stages of planning everything. Do you have a wedding date now?
Don't have a specific one picked out. Yeah, I mentioned it before. I'm still in Pennsylvania. Lauren's still in New York. We're trying to figure out moving in together now, as
Mhm.
well as obviously now doing bachelorette, bachelor, wedding stuff. So we have a couple of possible dates we're looking at whatever, a few venues starting kind of on that search and stuff as well.
Mhm.
So no specific dates picked out yet.
Okay. And do you know how close you want the bachelor party like leading up to it, like, right next, a month before, like is there any kind of time frame in that sense, or does it really just not matter at this point?
Yeah, so we again kind of early stages of planning and stuff. We're kind of targeting a summer 2027 wedding. And then for this trip, we were looking at doing kind of like summer 2026. We didn't really care as much about when it was, more of just, can we get everyone down there? Can we, set something up to get as many people there as possible?
Very
The only
nice.
thing I'll say, just be careful. Take it into consideration with your planning. Summer in Florida, just be aware that there are some hurricanes. So
Yeah,
contingencies maybe with that, but earlier in the season the better generally.
yeah, we'll get looking at all refundable things for now because that's definitely something we got to keep an eye on.
He's already on top of it. Look at this.
Yeah.
I thought you were going
I
to
may
say
have
it's
had
hot.
someone mention that already,
I thought you were
but
going to say it's hot in Florida in the summer. It's like,
uh,
that's a
that's true
given.
too.
Proboth, shut up. But hurricanes, that's a good point out. That's a good point out. I'll give it to you.
And hey, I guess to your point about timing and planning and stuff. Say something were to happen, a hurricane happens, we'd still have a year lead up. We could try to reschedule things. I didn't think of that as a benefit to doing it so early, but that honestly is.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
sure, for sure. A little curveball here, right?
Oh boy.
So we're
Ooh.
gonna go into the future, say, like 10, 15 years after even the wedding, right? What do you think is going to make this, party the most memorable? Obviously, you never know until it happens, but right now, what are your first thoughts?
I get a hole in one in golf. I mean, come on, it couldn't really beat that. But no, I mean, on a more serious note, on something that's actually realistic, I would say, just enjoying the time with the friends. That's it's one of the things. I know, Will, you can say it too. Miss having all the friends around in college. Anytime that we get a chance to get together again, it's the best weekend of the month, of the year, whatever it may be. So just really, it's going to be getting to soak in as much time with the friends, the people that we care about. That's what's going to be most important to me.
It's the people that make it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you coming on here. A lot of good insights. I think some things that, even Bobby and I haven't really considered doing this for, however many episodes it is now. Still always learning and always gathering new things. So,
But
congratulations again. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you. But Mike, we really want to hear after the bachelor party as well. So please stay a fan, and we would love to get that follow up of how it goes. And is it actually a disaster? Like, oh my god, that'd be a crazy episode. Don't do co-ed. Don't do
yeah, right.
or it's gonna be like you have to do it. It's awesome. That's what I'm hoping for you. And I hope you guys have a great time on your bachelor party. Bachelor bash. Batch
Batch,
bash.
batch, bash. There we go. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on, and definitely part two will be coming back. Hopefully, it's all good things.
All right, Mike, that was a great interview. I appreciate you coming on here so much, man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
dude. That was a good one. I think I learned a lot, even more than I think we had in mind that we were going to learn.
Yeah, and I really like the aspect of splitting events up and then coming back. in my head, co-ed was such a give and take kind of relationship. So it did open my eyes a little bit to that. It doesn't have to be so together the entire time.
Yeah, I honestly, you kind of took one of my takeaways was
Uh,
I think that we were, at least in the previous episodes, a little bit too black and white in the sense of like it's either a bachelor bachelorette or it's a joint. But having one night together and then pretty much doing like the bachelor bachelorette thing for the rest of the nights, I think that's really kind of a cool crossover, almost like a hybrid between the two. And honestly, that seems like that's a great fit, especially in the situation that Mike and Lauren are in.
yeah, it works for them, and I know who am I to talk about anything and counter people. It's just a vision in my head of what a bachelor party is, and it's not necessarily co-ed, but it seems like this is going to work for them so well. I really hope it does, and I could totally understand where they're coming from, so it makes sense. Now, one thing that you did say was, "Is this the future of bachelor parties?" Now, I mean, on this episode, we broke it down. We're talking from, this is Sparta brotherhood to is it going to co-ed? Like that's a pretty big difference. And we talked a little bit about what it's like around the world. And yeah, are we predicting the future of bachelor parties?
I really think we might be. We talked a good amount about how in like the 80s that Hollywood really popularized the stereotypical bachelor and bachelorette parties that we think of now, or at least the crazy parties is what you're hearing are kind of fitting that mold. But then something even Mike alluded to, I think he said Lauren was sending them some TikToks about these joint parties, like maybe that side of media, the social media age, is really kind of pushing that. And in 20 years from now, that is going to be the gold standard of a pre-wedding party.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Well, with that being said, we want to know what your bachelor parties are like now. Guys and girls, bachelorette parties, we want to hear all your stories. What's going on in the planning decisions? What's going on during them? Any crazy stories? We want to hear it all generations. If it happened 20 years ago, that's okay. If you want to stay completely anonymous, that's okay. Michael's interview was very special because on a previous episode, we talked about co-ed. He reached out to us and let us know about his co-ed coming up. Now, I know he's pretty early in the stages, but he wanted to come on and talk about it. We appreciate it that so much. We love people reaching out to us and wanting to come on and asking questions or even giving us a city to talk about. This episode is a little bit different, but if this is your first episode, we talk about different cities typically and then try to have an interview from there. If we really just want to interview everybody we can, I just want to emphasize that. So please let us know, and we'd be happy to have you on.
Yep, no story is too big, too small,
or
too
crazy
or too boring, right? Yeah, I love them all. I mean, even me, the nerd in me, likes talking about the planning, the logistical side of things, kind of like we were starting to get into today. So anything really, like you're saying, we want to talk to you guys. We want to engage and see what you're thinking, what you're feeling.
Even if you don't want to go through all of that, you just want to tell the story and like want to send us a note, well, like send us an email. It's on the end here. And we will read it out here and we will keep you anonymous. A story is better than anything. Or better than nothing. So please. But I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode today. Michael, thank you again for coming on. And I hope you guys tune in next episode.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, keep following us, and if you feel so inclined, share it with others and anybody you think find it interesting. And with that, thank you guys for watching.
It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride. It's the last hurrah craziest way. From Vegas nights to beach town vibes,